Yes and no. Marilyn had been under contract to Fox previously. She'd been a member of what was laughingly called the stock company, which meant that she played tiny little bits in Betty Grable's old costumes and entertained visiting statesmen from New York. And she was fired, along with most of the stock company, in the regular economy waves that they used to have. Then she got this job with John Huston in Asphalt Jungle, in which she was very good. And a little man named Johnny Hyde, who was the second in command of the William Morris Agency, fell in love with Marilyn. And he was my agent, too, and he read my script of All About Eve and wanted Marilyn to play the part. I agreed with him, but Mr. Zanuck raised the roof. He wouldn't have Marilyn back on the lot. And I got to the point where I told Hyde, I said, look, I want Marilyn for the part. I think she'd be right for it, but I'm not about to tear up my contract and go stomping out into Santa Monica Boulevard if, Zanuck gets really nasty about it. And Hyde said, I'll handle Zanuck. And he had the clout. And I'm amazed that very few people have ever really recognized, possibly because Johnny Hyde wasn't the glamour boy that Joe DiMaggio was, or other people in Marilyn's life. He was the man who truly loved her and truly gave her a sense of self-respect. At any rate, Marilyn was hired for a one-week guarantee at Fox, to which they had attached the usual 7-year contract. She went out on All About Eve, and suddenly these letters started streaming in, many more letters than Betty Davis got or Ann Baxter. And Fox took up its option on this contract and parlayed it into millions of dollars. Marilyn got $500 a week for All About Eve.
That's a fascinating story. I've never heard that story before. Mr. Mankiewicz, the Academy Awards are coming up pretty soon. You're an Academy Award winner. And how many do you have? How many Oscars?
I have 4. I won 2. I won one for writing and one for directing, for Letter of the Three Wives. And then the very next year won the writing and directing awards for All About Eve. I won 4 in 2 consecutive years.
Yes.
And All About Eve still holds the record for the greatest number of nominations that a film has ever had.
And of course it won for Best Picture that year.
I have one other claim to fame that I think is rather amusing. Is I've directed a film, the only film in the history of the cinema, in which the entire cast was nominated for Best Actor. And that was Sleuth.
Oh, I love that film. I'm so glad you brought it up because that is one of, if I had to name 5 favorite films, that would be one of the 5.
But the interesting thing is that the entire cast was nominated for the Best Actor award.
Oh, that's just beautiful. That's great. Who do you think will win this year? What picture?
I haven't the vaguest idea. The Academy has become, I think, it becomes less and less of an Academy every year.
In what way, Mr. Mankiewicz?
Well, in the first place, people belong to it that shouldn't belong to an Academy. When I joined the Academy, I was invited to become a member because I had been nominated for the screenplay of a film called Skippy, of which you've never heard.
No,
it was
sir.
released many years before you were born. And the idea of the Academy at that time was it was to be a select group of men and women who had achieved something in films and were therefore Academy members. Well, today you've got a whole branch that are just nothing but press agents. And I don't know what they're doing in an Academy. You've got a whole branch of just executives, people who own studios, people like Bluthorn and, I don't know, the heads of conglomerates that own these various. I have no idea what they're doing in an Academy. It's nonsense to call it an Academy.